Oh, it is hot today, but this lighting, okay. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video, and it's going to be kind of like a things I wish I knew before starting uni, my uni advice, tips I would give to incoming freshers about uni and just starting university in general. So yeah, first tip I have is you're gonna miss home more than you think. That's something I wish I had known. A lot of people may be very happy to leave home. Leaving home was very hard for me. That's one thing I definitely underestimated. I actually went home more weekends than I thought I would, and that's entirely okay. If you miss home, if you get homesick, which I'm sure you will, visit home as often as you want to, because it's definitely a great way to keep yourself grounded and to keep yourself happy, because there are also many hard times that you will go through in uni, and home is a great place to go back and escape whatever you're going through in uni. So uni is quite a lonely place, and that sounds very sad, but it's not lonely obviously all the time. Loneliness isn't just being alone, but you can feel very lonely if you're not with the right type of people. Making friends in uni is hard, and it's kind of weird because you would think at this age it would be easy to make friends and you have social skills, but for a lot of people it's very hard, especially obviously introverts. Really just make the most of every opportunity you have. Freshers is obviously a great way to make friends because everyone's super friendly and everything, but just because freshers has gone by and it might have been a few months now that you've been in uni, that you can't make new friends because it's a process, and you can't think that the first few people that you meet in freshers are going to be your best friends, because most of the time that's not the case. Most of the people that I met in freshers, maybe half of them I don't even talk to now. There's plenty more opportunities. There's so many ways to make friends. You just have to really put the effort in. Everyone's schedule is so different. Even if you have like the same course, everyone has different things going on. Make time for your friends, otherwise it's very hard to make genuine friends. In uni there is a lot of independence, and I think that's what everyone obviously expects in uni, but when you are actually a uni student you realize, wow, I have to do everything for myself, because no one's gonna tell you to do this, no one's gonna remind you to do this. You know, remind yourself to do the laundry on the weekend so that you have clothes to wear to lectures, or you know, you have to be the person to remember, oh okay, I have this event on this day. One of the things I found which was difficult was time management, because in uni, especially during freshers, obviously there's so many events going on, and a lot of the times things can clash, especially if you are involved in a lot of things like societies. You have to really know your priorities, prioritize your time. You will have an extracurricular activity for your course in the evening, but then there's like a basketball social the same evening. Know when to take a break from your course and from your studies, but also know that you're in uni to get a degree at the end of the day. So I guess for most people your course is your main priority, so you really need to prioritize your course over everything else. Really balance your uni life well, because it can go wrong very easily and it's very easy to fall behind on your course, but at the same time it's very easy to be all up in your course and all up in your studies but not experience the uni life. You really need to remind yourself that I'm here to get a degree, I'm here to work hard and study hard, but also it's important to take a break from your course because it's not going to be a fun experience at all. You really need to branch out, obviously, and do other things. Join societies, make friends, go to socials, go out for dinners, for lunches, you know, stuff like that. Enjoy your uni life as well, because it's just more than getting a degree at the end of the day, although that's probably one of the main things. It's important to also know that, okay, I need to enjoy myself too, otherwise you will suffer. Make the most out of your uni resources. And it really surprised me when I moved into uni how much the uni has for its students. I don't know, I was just so impressed by what my uni offered in terms of studies, not just that, but also counselling for mental health, all of that stuff that I actually didn't realise my uni provided. Like when I was going through a rough time, I didn't know that I could actually seek a free counsellor. Always know that your uni can provide for you and they will have people who you can speak to. I always thought that the people in my uni are just, you know, the lecturers, my seminar leaders, but no, your uni is much more than that. They're there to care for you and to make sure that your uni experience is good and that you're being taken care of. Not everyone is going to go clubbing all the time, and for me this was kind of something I didn't know going into uni. Obviously I knew that some people would not enjoy that scene and that scene is not for everyone, but it surprised me when I did go into uni how many people chose not to, you know, go clubbing every Friday. There's also a big group of people who do not like to go out, and that's perfectly fine because that's what they choose to do. And so if you're someone who is worried that you think everyone's gonna go out clubbing all the time, don't be worried because there's plenty of people who don't enjoy that. It's all about trying to find the right people and surrounding yourself with the right people. Adjusting into uni takes time. I feel like, again, it's easy to compare your experience with someone else's experience. It took me a long time to feel like uni was my new home. Uni was a very foreign place to me and it was very hard, but it's obviously going to take a long time because it's a completely new place that you're moving to, and with people that you've never met before, you're with complete strangers, so it's entirely normal to feel like it's taking time to adjust and to settle down. It really takes a lot. It takes your friends and the things that you're doing, and the work as well is very hard that you need to adjust to. So there's a lot of things that you need to adjust to in uni, so it can't just be, you know, that simple. Mental health is actually a very big thing for many university students. When I did go through first year, I experienced a lot of anxiety and that really harmed my mental health. I would stress about the smallest things. I think one term I had a lot of 9 a.m.s, and I do law, so we had a lot of contact hours. A lot of my days started really early, and I know most uni students, a lot of them are lucky enough to start really late in the day, but for me, I really struggled with my timetable, so I had a lot of anxiety at night before I went to sleep, and I had trouble sleeping at night. I really realized how serious it was to take care of your mental health, and I feel like this isn't talked about as much because like most people talk about, you know, making friends and how to get through freshers and how to cope with your work and stuff like that, but I feel like not enough people talk about how to really care for yourself and to care for your mental health. Many people and friends that I know who started uni as well experienced a lot of burden on their mental health and suffered a lot. So again, there's so many resources in your uni which will help you. Just go and seek the right people, but for me, I struggled more than I should have because I didn't seek any help. So that's when I realized that it's important to really take care of yourself, because especially for people like me who had never suffered with their mental health before, it was definitely down of my list of priorities when I started uni. Like obviously my main priorities were my course, making friends. I never expected at all that I would have to deal with that and deal with suffering from mental health issues. So yeah, it's very important, and I feel like it's very easy for uni students to kind of brush it aside. There's so many other things that you need to worry about in uni, but it's so important to remember to prioritize yourself, because nothing at all, not even your uni degree or anything in uni, go before your mental health, not even your own uni degree. So if you're really suffering mentally, know that nothing else is more important than taking care of yourself, and to never let anything in uni go at the cost of your mental health. So yeah, remember that, kids. Very important. Clubbing and drinking is not the only way to have a good time. It really is not the only way to socialize, because there's so many other things you can do to socialize. That's why it's so important to join societies and to do extracurricular things. You can do things other than drinking and going out to the club. Obviously clubbing is very fun and it's a good time, but don't think it's the only way to have fun, because it really is not. And if you think that way, and it's gonna end up being the only way you have fun, because there's gonna be times where you're not gonna want to go out to clubs and you're not gonna want to drink, and that's completely normal. Another tip I would say for freshers is to explore the new area wherever you're moving to. So for example, for me, my uni is a campus uni, so all of the buildings are in one place. For the first few weeks, I didn't even go out of the uni and I didn't even explore the town until like a couple of weeks after freshers, which I know is very common for a lot of people. It's important to really go out, and for example, me and my friends, we actually went to town very often. We also went on trips to the beach, because the uni I go to is on the east coast of the UK, and that was very fun. So it's important to really explore the new area. Again, it's very easy to think that uni is just a uni, it's just me going to lectures and that, but it really isn't. Uni is a lot bigger of an experience than that, and it's important to make it a bigger experience. First year may or may not count for some people depending on your course. However, it's important to really make use of first year. I think for most people, if not all, first year does not count in terms of final grades. So people use that excuse that, oh, I don't have to study as hard, oh, I don't have to get the grade, oh, I can go out clubbing every weekend, every other day. The advice I would give is to not think like that and to actually make use of first year, because settling into uni is very hard and it takes time. So if you're not going to take first year seriously, taking it seriously in second year is going to be too late. It's important in first year to really understand your course. There was a lot of just admin things that you would never think you had to learn, but you did. Like for example, for my course, we had a law library, we had an online law library that I had to get like a hang of, and things that I thought I didn't need to learn but actually did. Make use of your lectures, your seminar leaders and your professors, because otherwise it will be too late. And a lot of the times actually first year does count in terms of prospectus and for career, whatever they apply for. They look at your first year grades, and I did not know that. People were like to me, why are you taking first year so seriously? That is true in some sense, but be smart and actually make use of first year. You can't just have your first year being going out all the time, spending so much money. Like obviously if that's how you wanna live your first year, do you? Just think about it, that's a whole year of you like learning and actually doing something. There are times where you're gonna be so tired and you're not really always gonna give your 100% in an assignment, and that's completely fine. But as long as you try and you try your best, I'm not saying to stress yourself out about getting a first in first year, because that's not normal and most people do not get a first in first year. Actually try to learn, because you're spending so much money for your course and for your uni. If you just wanted to have a social life, then you should have just had a gap year. It's important to remember why you are in uni and remember the purpose you have, and that you are there to study, to learn, to get a degree at the end of the day. If you really want to do well in your uni years, first year is a great way to get ahead and to do well. I wish I had gone with the flow more, because for me, I was definitely an anxious uni student all the time. I kind of put myself down a lot. So I would definitely say I wish I chilled out a lot more and was not so stressed out all the time. Uni is not as scary as you may think it to be, and it shouldn't be something that stresses you out all the time. Everything really will fall into place eventually. The other thing about loneliness is that a lot of the times I didn't like being alone, because I felt like being alone meant that I was being lonely. A lot of the times I really did not like my room at uni, because it was a shoebox room like most uni rooms, and I felt like I was always alone in that space. So I didn't like being in my room a lot of the time, so I actually tried to always be out, whether it's the library or whether it's getting a lunch with friends. It gets unhealthy because there are definitely always going to be times where you will be alone, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're lonely. I learned in uni that the best company is my own company, and that I didn't have to always be with someone to be happy. That was one of the big lessons that I learned in first year. Yeah, it's very hard because back at home I could be alone in my room, but I wouldn't feel lonely because, you know, I know that my family was there. But when I was in uni, I felt lonely if I was by myself because I know that my family wasn't there. So I always had to be with someone to feel like I wasn't lonely. It's important to spend time with yourself because you're gonna be by yourself a lot of the times in uni, and that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly normal. Everyone actually spends a lot of time by themselves, and it's important to learn to be okay with that. You shouldn't base your happiness on other people because company is not always going to be there. The only company that you can rely on really is yourself. Like, I always felt like I had to be with someone on a Friday night or a Saturday night, and I couldn't just be by myself in my room. But in reality, that's okay, and it's fine to take a break from socializing and to just spend good time with yourself. It can be very scary, obviously, to do things by yourself in uni. That's, I guess, how you find yourself, or as people would say, in how you find yourself in uni, that's how you do it, is to really get to know yourself and spend time with yourself. Really be self-aware about how you are doing in uni, and especially when it comes to your course, because there's this thing in uni where towards like the end of the term, especially towards the end of the year, I don't know if it was because COVID was starting and everyone got kind of lazy or what, but towards the end of like terms, lots and lots of people, I even did this, will start to kind of go downhill in terms of their work. A lot of people fall behind because they do not attend lectures and they don't attend their seminars. People think that it's okay to miss lectures because they're online, or it's okay to miss lectures because they don't count attendance for lectures or whatever. A lot of the times people just use that as an excuse to not attend lectures, which is a very bad thing to get into because it's so easy when you miss your first few lectures to never go to that lecture. I just watched as the months went by how less people attended lectures. Everyone just got lazy, let's be honest. Like, even me, I didn't attend lectures. I did attend, I would say, 80 to 90% of my lectures. Obviously there's days where you're not gonna want to go to that 9 a.m. lecture after you just went out the night before. Don't make that a habit, because after you do it a couple times, you're gonna think that it's okay to do it for the rest of the year. Face-to-face learning is completely different to learning off a screen. So if you think that you can rely completely on your recordings, that's not how I learn. I know some people do it, I don't know how they do it. The next tip I have is not comparing your journey to someone else's uni journey in terms of career and in terms of studies, because in my course there's a lot of very driven people and very hardworking people. Because of that, everyone really wants to get ahead. Like, everyone seems like they have their life together, they have their course together, and it got very stressful. It kind of questioned what I was doing, if I was studying enough, if I was putting the hours in enough. So it got a bit much a lot of the time, and when we would get our results for our assignments, people would say, oh yeah, I got off first and stuff like that. So it's very easy to compare yourself. My advice for that is obviously to try not to compare yourself as much as possible. It's definitely hard, especially because you're always surrounded with people like that, and you're always surrounded with people who you think are better than you. A lot of people have already done so much, and just because someone's done so much doesn't mean that you're not doing enough. What opportunities people have had in their lives and what things they have done is completely different to what's happened in your life, and whatever setbacks you've had in your life is very different to what they've had. You're always going to be surrounded with very accomplished people and people who have done a lot in their lives, and it will make you feel like you've done nothing compared to them. Really care for yourself and understand that people will go through different things and people will accomplish different things, so don't be so hard on yourself for not having the same CV as someone else, if that makes sense. To not be upset if your expectations don't meet your experience in uni, because I feel like before starting uni, a lot of people get very hyped up about uni, like, oh, I'm gonna make so many friends, I'm gonna be moving out, I'm gonna, you know, go partying all the time. Uni is not always going to be like that. So many people post on social media, they're always going out and they're meeting so many people, they're making so many friends, but in real life, again, social media is not people's real lives, it's only their highlights. So don't compare yourselves and your uni life experience to someone else's uni experience. It's okay to not enjoy your uni sometimes. More people are having a hard time than a great time in uni, but obviously there's many moments in uni that you're gonna enjoy, and you're gonna be so happy to be there, and you're gonna be so grateful for the people that you meet. If you keep pushing, you're gonna have a great time because you're gonna meet so many great people and you're gonna experience great things. You're gonna learn so much. Obviously, you're there to learn, and not just learning in terms of your course, but you're gonna learn so much about yourself, so much about what kind of people you like to surround yourself with, what kind of things you like to do. So it's a great time to really find yourself, as corny as that sounds. But yeah, I didn't want this to be too long because I know kind of chatty videos might get a bit boring after a while. So if you got anything out of this, I hope that you enjoyed the video, or I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. So yeah.